Violet Jessop, who earned the nickname Miss Unsinkable, was one of history's luckiest or unluckiest women. She lived a life that reads more like an adventurous maritime novel than reality, having survived 3 of the most famous maritime disasters, all within a space of 5 years. Born on October 2nd, 1887 in Argentina, Violet Jessop was the first child of Irish immigrants William and Catherine Jessop. Her dance with death started early, as her early years were marked by hardship and resilience, traits that would define her throughout her extraordinary life. When Violet was young, she faced a severe illness, presumed to be tuberculosis, and doctors doubted she would even survive. However, her strong will and robust constitution saw her through. After her father passed away, her family moved to England, where her mother secured work as a stewardess for the Royal Mail Line. Following in her mother's footsteps, Violet also embarked on a career at sea, a decision that would place her at the heart of 3 of the 20th century's most famous maritime disasters. After serving on the Royal Mail Line Orinoco for a couple of years, she then transferred to the White Star Line and was assigned to the RMS Olympic. The Olympic was the first of 3 Olympic-class transatlantic ocean liners built in Belfast, designed to set the new gold standard in luxury transatlantic travel. Her sister ships were the Titanic and the Britannic, on which Jessop would also serve. Launched in 1910, the Olympic was the largest civilian liner at the time and a marvel of modern engineering. Violet joined the crew as a stewardess in 1911, and it wasn't long before she experienced her first brush with disaster. On September 20th, 1911, the Olympic collided with the British warship HMS Hawke off the coast of the Isle of Wight. The impact was severe, causing significant damage to the Olympic's hull. Despite the chaos, Violet remained calm and professional, assisting passengers and ensuring their safety. The incident, though frightening, was only a precursor to the more dramatic events that would follow. Undeterred by the Olympic's mishap, Violet continued her service with the White Star Line and soon found herself assigned to the RMS Titanic. On April 12, 1915, the Titanic departed Southampton on her highly anticipated maiden voyage. On the night of April 14th, at around 11:40 p.m, Violet was getting ready for bed when a sudden, deafening bang was followed by a high-pitched screech. Rushing to investigate, she was stunned to find that the ship had collided with an iceberg. She was instructed to put on her life vest and make her way to the top of the deck to assist with the evacuation. As she had passengers into lifeboats, Violet was eventually instructed to board Lifeboat 16 herself. As she boarded the boat, a baby was thrust into her arms with instructions to care for it. In the frigid early hours of April 15th, she watched the Titanic, a beacon of modernity and luxury, break apart and slip beneath the icy waters. After 3 hours in the water, Violet, along with the rest of Lifeboat 16, were rescued by the RMS Carpathia. When on the Carpathia's deck, a woman ran up crying and took the baby from her, presumably the child's mother. Despite enduring 2 seafaring accidents, Violet continued to work at sea. However, with the outbreak of World War I, she chose a different career path: nursing. As the eldest of 9 children, Violet often took care of her younger siblings, who were frequently ill. Tragically, 3 of them passed away at a young age. Given her experience in caregiving, transitioning to nursing was a natural choice for Violet. In 1916, with her background as a stewardess, Violet was assigned to the Britannic, the 3rd and largest of the Olympic-class liners, now converted into a hospital ship. The Britannic was tasked with transporting wounded soldiers from the front lines back to Britain. On the morning of November 21st, 1916, while navigating a channel in the Aegean Sea, the Britannic struck a mine planted by a German U-boat. The explosion caused extensive damage, and despite efforts to beach the ship on Kia Island, it rapidly took on water. As Violet and the rest of the crew stood on deck, they anxiously awaited the command to abandon ship. Although no official order had been given, the lifeboats were lowered into the water, but Violet's struggle didn't end there. The captain was still trying to beach the ship, so the propellers were still going, hence why he had not given the abandoned ship order. Tragically, several lifeboats were drawn into ships still turning propellers, resulting in the loss of 30 lives. Violet was on one such lifeboat that was being pulled towards the propellers. Just as her lifeboat was about to hit, she dived into the water. Upon resurfacing, she hit her head on a lifeboat and suffered a bad head wound. Despite the injury, she survived, marking her 3rd encounter with a naval disaster. After the war, Violet returned to civilian life and continued her maritime career, working on various ships until she retired in 1950. Years after her retirement, Jessop recounted receiving a mysterious telephone call on a stormy night. The caller, a woman, asked if Jessop had saved a baby on the night the Titanic sank. When Jessop replied yes, the woman responded, "I was that baby," laughed, and then hung up. It was most likely a prank, but Violet claimed she never told anyone that story. Violet never sought the limelight, but her story naturally drew public attention. She wrote a memoir, Titanic Survivor, which was published posthumously in 1997. In it, she detailed her experiences with a mixture of modesty and humour, offering unique perspective on the maritime disasters that had defined her life. Her remarkable ability to remain composed and effective during emergencies earned her the nickname Miss Unsinkable. Violet Jessop passed away on May 7, 1971 at the age of 83.